Now, I want to start with my health. I guess that's
Yeah,
some of you may have noticed.
you should use that word detached.
Yeah, detached is a very, very bad word. A week ago Sunday, my left retina began to detach from the back of my eye, and I know this because the right one did the same thing 9 years ago. So I know to run, not walk to A&E. But the old adage is, don't ever get ill on a Sunday. Well, it's true. I walked into A&E at about 10 o'clock in the morning. About 5.5 hours later, I was finally seen by the ophthalmologist who indeed confirmed, yes, your retina is tearing. So I had a choice. I could either go
5.5 hours.
By the time you get through A&E and all the processing, and I said to the women at the desk, I could lose my eyesight here. This is kind of important. Okay, sir. And by the time I got to the triage nurse, she was like, oh my goodness. And she called ophthalmology. But there's only one ophthalmologist on a Sunday, and she had 5 very, very critical emergencies to deal with.
So where was this?
This was in Cardiff at Heath, because they're the only ones with the retina specialist.
That's the University Hospital of Wales.
Yeah. So I got down there, and they said, well, you've got 2 choices. We can ship you over to Bristol, but chances are by the time you get there, it'll be after 5, and there'll be no operation, so you have to wait till the morning. And she said, my suggestion is go home, lay on your left side with your head at a slight angle, and that will stop the tear from getting worse. So basically, I came back here, was in bed for whatever it was, 10, 12 hours, and then got up, drove to Cardiff, where indeed I was first on the schedule that afternoon, which was 1:30 in the afternoon. They fixed the retina and had a reasonably good night's sleep. And you know what they always say, before you leave the hospital, you have to be able to pee and you have to be able to eat something. Well, the next morning, I was peeing slightly. I didn't think much. I thought it was just the anesthesia wearing off, and they discharged me about 1 o'clock. Well, by 6 p.m., I couldn't pee at all, and I was in a lot of agony, a lot of pain. So my wife took me to A&E, where I went through 3 hours of trauma until a surgeon essentially knifed me in the bladder.
So twice in A&E?
I'm twice in A&E. I'm now in A&E in Bridgend.
Okay.
Because that's only 10 minutes away.
That's the Princess of Wales Hospital?
So it's been a bit of an interesting time.
Well, I noticed when you were gingerly sitting down here at the podcast, and I thought, that's not the eye thing.
No, it's not the eye. It's not the eye. So, but I have to say though, on the whole, our NHS, they do a fantastic job. They really do, and there's just not enough resources at the main frontline source of care. It's too damn many administrators, and it's become a real campaign issue with me, and I'm really going to be focusing on it. But that's my story.
Well, I mean, I'm just glad to see you back and rock and rolling. You're absolutely right. I mean, the staff in NHS do a fantastic job, and the nurses and doctors do a fantastic job, and all credit to them and to you and stuff. I think that's. And the NHS is a fantastic thing, you couldn't get that anywhere else in the world,
I was just on a radio program in the US with Nicole Sandler, and, I explained to her, I said, that emergency of about 4 days, including 2 surgeries, all the time spent in A&E, that probably would have ended up with a bill of about $100,000. And, I would have had to find either some way through some crazy insurance
in America.
In America, yeah. And I literally walked out the door with the medications I needed, no forms to fill out, no cashier's window to visit on the way out the door. I mean, it's truly an incredible standard of service we have.
Yeah.
Dario, I'm sorry, we've been hogging the microphone here.
No. It was interesting though, because the Prime Minister's questions, health was the main issue, and it kind of, because you're there in Wales, it really taps into that argument that seems to come up again and again when Labour attack the Tories on what they're doing to the health service. The Tories just return, well, you're running health and you're running the NHS in Wales, and the service statistically is supposed to be worse there. And your experience, it's an interesting way you would come out in terms of being a candidate for the Lib Dems in terms of this sort of 7-day service that is being pushed by Jeremy Hunt and the Tories.
It is important, and they've got to find a way to come to some sort of an agreement, because you can't just simply take it out of the backs of the junior doctors and those who have no ability to fight, part one. Part two, I'm tired of listening to Labour and Tories throw spitballs at each other. and not doing anything to solve the problem.
The thing is, as well, they don't answer the question. I mean, Dario touched on a really important point there, which is, you know, Labour will say one thing, ask a question, and the Tories will say something completely different. You know, it's not answering the question at all to talk about, oh, you're running the health service down in such and such an area, you know. Just answer the question.
Yeah. I mean, how much is the price of green beans? Purple.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.